what time it is? It's that time! It's the time to start getting more into that conversation about our health, our state of mind, and well-being through ketogenesis. One of my favorite subjects. But here we go. So I got an email last night about somebody writing an article that the ketogenic diet could potentially make you insulin resistant. And I was like, okay, let's put things into perspective here because everything is contextual. So when you first try the non-BS diet, this is what it's about. Yeah, to burn fat, you have to eat fat. I know, very layman's terms said, but it is that simple. For your body to give up one of its most important and viable commodities, it has to feel that there's an ample supply or amount of fat coming in to then let go of the fat. It's not going to let go of the fat first and just, oh, let's just keep Stephanie muscular, because if I were to be out in the tundra right now, tomorrow, somebody who has more body fat is going to survive longer than me unless my muscles get me to food quicker. I know. Okay, here we go. So this article, or was actually an opinion by someone who was reading other studies, so we always have to be careful about people's opinions, especially mine, or anyone's, because I think that people need to use their sense, their sensibilities. That's how you got to decipher through the minutia of information on the internet. So here we go. Okay, so this is the business. This is me. Yes, at the tender age of 47, in ketosis, building muscle. I think I've even gone through another growth spurt. I haven't checked myself yet, but I'm feeling kind of yoked in just a wee bit more with all my workouts. Feeling very developed. So it's pretty cool. I feel strong, but most importantly, I have continuous energy throughout the day. And when I go to bed at night, goosh, I'm out. Just like that. I'm on a nice, rhythmic, circadian rhythm. My 24 body clock is on point. But let's talk about this first stage of your keto adaptation, because it really is about the first stage. So there's been studies done about the ketogenic diet and on twins, and one twin did awful and one twin awful on the ketogenic diet, and one did better on carbohydrates, but the study was for 1 month long. And I'm like, really? Come on, guys, like, why even bother if it's a month? We know that your brain is used to utilizing glucose. And when you go on the ketogenic diet, what do? You cut it out. You're going to cut out your carbohydrates. You're going to have a lot of wacky things happen because your brain and your cells are addicted to glucose. Even though we have another viable source, somebody's screaming outside my window, distracting me and everything. Even though we have the other option to burn ketones and beta-hydroxybutyrate, I swear it's not me. Even though we have that fuel as an option, our bodies are still conditioned to go for the glucose, which of course in many videos I've mentioned creates a host of problems because of that 4 to 5 grams of glucose that we can take at any one feeding. So the article is describing that people are feeling ass crappy when they go on the ketogenic diet, that it's creating insulin resistance, but things aren't contextualized. So part of it was saying that the muscles become insulin resistant. Now learn this, people. When you take out the body's primary source of crack-addicted gasoline, your body's going to go, it's going to be wicky and wacky and screwed up in the very beginning. Not for everyone, Because those who have already done low-carb paleo, for example, people who are eating around 150 grams of carbohydrates a day tend to do a lot better once they cut their carbohydrates down to 20. Now, this particular person, with their opinion, they were eating 50 carbs a day. They were showing ketones in the urine. But ketones in the urine are not indicative of what's going into the Krebs cycle and into your brain. So essentially, rendering them to one particular way of looking at things kind of useless, because over time, your body will stop producing ketones, not for everyone, but most people, through the urine. With that said, you are going to show these really nonsensical numbers of how insulin is being used. So insulin, the muscles become insulin resistant so that glucose could be shunted up to the brain. Your body goes through gluconeogenesis, which is the breakdown of amino acids to raise back up its crack-addicted glucose to put your body in balance. But that's not the way to survive, right? That's stress. Too much cortisol is going to create too much blood sugar, and in actually the first stages with a lot of people, people's glucose numbers shoot up. And sometimes they can shoot up to over 100. So if you have chronic 105, 110, 120, you're on that level of insulin resistance, which is a diabetic disorder where your insulin is not doing its job to clear out the glucose. So with that said, this affectation or this reaction to glucose and the lacking of glucose is really temporary to those who know how to constantly tweak the dials. You've got to be like this all the time, because if you don't turn the dials accordingly to your keto adaptation, your glucose numbers stay high. And then if they stay high, you don't keto adapt. And if they stay high, you're still a carb burner. And if they stay high, that can put you in a pre-diabetic, symptomatic arena. So, you cut out your carbs, and your body's still producing sugar. How is that possible, guys? How? Like I said, gluconeogenesis. If your body's under stress and it's a carb burner, which means it doesn't know how to use ketones as a viable source of fuel, it will, listen to me, it will create sugar on its own without eating one drop of a carb. That's how complicated our systems are to survive. Okay. Stress. What is stress? Well, yeah, stress is, you feel it. Your heart rates and blood pressure increase. You're feeling frustrated. You're not feeling well. Yes. That's problematic. Stress tears your cells apart. You become very catabolic, which means you're in a breakdown phase. That is not good. And I have to do one of these because I'm so serious right now. Hi, guys. I just have to throw those in because this stuff I'm talking about, it's serious. It's no joke. It's not a joke. But I want people to receive the information well. Because you have to be willing to let go of the old you and kick it to the curb. And you have to design, boom, a new you. That's what I'm talking about. Just get that stuff on. And that's what I've decided to do in my 40s. And now I'm in my late 40s and I've decided to design a new me. It all starts with a thought. Every cell is connected to every cell. Your brain fires and wires. Associations stick together like glue, guys. Especially if you're glycated. Glued together. So everything is connected. This is connected. This is connected. It's all connected. And every single thing in your day that you do think bacterial infection will affect your glucose numbers. And that is the reason why I don't like breathalyzers. That's why I don't like the ketonics. I don't like it. Because it's subjectively testing your acetone, the breath, the ketones from your breath. But then, I mean, it's a great simple tool, but everybody seems to have some kind of metabolic derangement. And the modern human stresses are raising people's blood glucose more than they realize it. But what you may not realize before you even try the ketogenic diet is that you might be borderline insulin resistant anyway, based on the fact that you can't regulate your blood glucose, your blood sugars. How many times do I talk to people? Where are we? Oh, we're good. Sort of. And they're just not in focus. They're not paying attention. Look at your coworkers, your neighbors, wherever you conjugate. Have a conversation with someone and see if they can think past 6 seconds of concerted focus. Because after 6 seconds, the brain wants to dart. And then if you've got a blood sugar dysregulation, it's even more. So the people center of focus isn't there. After 6 seconds, the brain is really fighting to focus. So you feel like people aren't listening, you feel like your spouse is being rude, when really they might have a blood sugar dysregulation, they might have an issue with their insulin, they might be borderline hypoglycemic, where the blood sugars plummet, they cannot focus. That the energy is not getting into the cells to make you feel energy, 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 energy. Whew. Yeah. Feeling kind of funky today, as I always do. So guys, I wanted to talk about, it's kind of like, 3 or 4 subjects in one, about regulating blood glucose, food addictions, which I think I should actually do a series of this, so after this one I'll do more. But, with that said, the reasons why you find that your blood glucose is spiked is because your body is stressed out. How? What do I do? Do I take ashwagandha? Do I do yoga? What do I do? It starts with a conversation with yourself. You have to be willing. You have to say, I will do whatever it takes to feel better, to change my life, to change my work environment, to change my body, to improve upon my relationships with people. You have to change who you are because what you were doing wasn't working. So that's why I've said in a few videos that your body is a reflection of what? Your mind. It's my body being a reflection of my mind. At the age of 47, 5 years and counting with no refeeds on carbohydrates. So my body has taken time to learn how to not be in that first stage of seemingly insulin resistance. Hard for your body to know how to use the ketones and therefore glucose too high. You got to get your glucose numbers down because your body will not keto adapt. If you got 2 fuel sources hanging around in the blood, it's always going to go towards the carbs. That's what it's addicted to. So all you people doing the Atkins diet or trying to do the ketogenic diet and you're like using your glucometer or your breathalyzers or your urine keto strips which don't work. You're like, why? Why don't I have the energy that Stephanie has? Yeah. Why? Because you're not highly adapted, that's why. I will do whatever it takes. If I don't go out, and I prefer sleep over going out, people are like, you're boring, and I'm like, no, I'm smart. And I'm pliable, and I'm moldable, and I'm flexible, and I'm young. Because I will do whatever it takes to preserve my DNA right here, right now. That's what it's all about, guys. Epigenetic gene expression therapy. It's fantastic. I don't have to starve. I don't have to sit and dislike my energy levels, and I'm not cranky or PMSing or hormonal. I'm just stoked. So guys, that's it. I'm going to do a series more on this topic because I think it's really important.